Hello and welcome to Lesson Silla. In today's tutorial, we are going to talk about Microsoft Teams. First of all, I'm going to go through the differences between Microsoft Teams Personal and Work, and then we're going to jump into a virtual machine and I'm going to show you some of the core features that will be helpful in your journey to learn how to use Microsoft Teams. Microsoft Teams is a collaboration tool developed by Microsoft. It is designed to help individuals and teams collaborate more effectively and seamlessly, and it integrates with the Microsoft 365 suite of productivity tools such as Word, Excel, PowerPoint, OneDrive, and SharePoint. Now, as you can see, I have put a table together to let you identify the differences between Microsoft Teams Personal as well as Microsoft Teams Work or School. Now, if you talk about Microsoft Teams Personal or Free, it is designed for personal use. It can be used with a personal Microsoft account. You get unlimited chat with friends and family. Group meetings can have up to 100 participants, and group meetings have a 60-minute limit. When it comes to Microsoft Teams Work or School, this application is designed for businesses and educational institutions. You need to have a Microsoft Business license such as Business Standard, Business Premium, or Microsoft Enterprise Grade licenses such as E3 or E5. It requires your account to be created by the organization's IT admin, and they usually provide you the credentials to your Microsoft account, which can be used to log into Microsoft Teams Work or School account. You get unlimited chat and calls. Group meetings can have up to 300 participants, unlimited group meetings for up to 30 hours, and you have advanced collaboration tools, real-time co-authoring, and seamless integration with Microsoft suite of applications. Let's go ahead and see how to use Microsoft Teams in our virtual lab. We have logged into our test environment now. Let's go ahead and see how you can access Microsoft Teams Work account in two different methods. First method is to access it on your web browser. So open your web browser, go to portal.office.com and log in using your work or school Microsoft account. I have got single sign-on enabled, so I'm logged in automatically. Once you've logged into portal.office.com using your work account, click on this icon here and look for Microsoft Teams. Click on Microsoft Teams icon to open Microsoft Teams online on your web browser. Now, this may not be the most user-friendly way of accessing Microsoft Teams. Therefore, I recommend that you download the Microsoft Teams desktop application. Now I'm going to show you how you can get Microsoft Desktop Teams application downloaded to your local computer. Once you have opened Microsoft Teams Online, go to your top right-hand side corner, click on these three dots, and click on Download the Desktop app. This will download Microsoft Teams to your local computer. In the web page, click Download Microsoft Teams for Windows. And as you can see, Teams setup file has been downloaded. Click on the setup file and let's go through the installation process. Teams application has been installed successfully now. So we can click Continue and click Got It. And as you can see, this is your Teams desktop application. I'm going to close my web browser now because we do not need it anymore. And let me just expand my window for Microsoft Teams desktop application. Now, to the right-hand side top corner, you will see your account and you can set your status depending on your requirements. Microsoft Teams typically sets the status automatically depending on how active you are or if you're out of office. So you do not have to manually manage this, but in case if you want to quickly change the status of your Microsoft Teams account, you can do it from this window. Also, if you want to update your Microsoft Teams application, you can click on these three dots in here and click Update and Restart Teams. So there's an update that is available now. I'm going to click on Update and Restart Teams. This is going to apply the update and restart Microsoft Teams. Once it restarts, we'll continue with the rest of the tutorial. Microsoft Teams has restarted after the update. As you can see over here, you do not see the update option anymore, which means you're running the latest version of Microsoft Teams desktop application. Let's go to settings now and discuss a few important settings that you can customize according to your requirements. Under general settings, you will see that auto start Teams is enabled, which means that every time you restart the computer, Microsoft Teams will start automatically as a startup program, so you wouldn't have to manually double click on the Microsoft Teams icon. If you do not want the auto start, you can untick and that will stop auto starting Microsoft Teams, but I do like that setting, so I'm going to leave it enabled. And another important setting is out of office. If you want to schedule out of office and set automatic replies, you can turn on automatic replies from Microsoft Teams. So this will sync with your Outlook calendar as well. And if you set up your out of office from Outlook, that will also sync through to your Microsoft Teams. So the sync happens both ways. You're welcome to do it from either Microsoft Teams or you can do it from Outlook, as most people do. And you can enable spell check, which is the default setting. I believe it's a very helpful setting, so I'm going to leave it as it is. I suggest that you do as well. There's no harm in Microsoft Teams checking your spelling for you. Especially when you're chatting with your colleagues, it is an important setting to have. And let's go to devices in here. I think that's one of the most important settings. In here, you can change your speaker and microphone settings. Now, I do not have any at the moment, so I'm not getting any options, but some of you may have multiple speakers, multiple microphones. So depending on which headset you want to use with your Microsoft Teams calls, you can change the headset settings in here. If you want to make a test call to make sure that your microphone and your video camera and your speakers are working properly, you can make a test call using this feature as well. And also, if you've got a camera, you can change further settings of your camera, brightness and focus and so forth. If I go to calls, in here you have the feature to forward all calls to voicemail, and you can have your own voicemail greeting set up in here as well. I think those are the important settings that on daily basis will help you with your Microsoft Teams experience. If you've got any questions around any of the other settings or features, please do put a comment and I will assist you in any way I can. Now let's go ahead and check the chat, Teams, calendar and call settings over here to the left hand side and see how they work. Let's talk about the chat feature. To your left, you will see chat. If you click on that, you will see yourself in here, which means you can send a message to yourself of a draft that you want to send to somebody else at a later stage, or if you want to test how messages are delivered to Microsoft Teams users. So let's say I want to send a test message. I can simply type the message and send it to myself. So you're going to see the message from a recipient's point of view. Now, one thing I wanted to point out is if you want to send a message but you want to mark it as important, you can simply type the message and click on this plus icon, click on set delivery options and mark it as important and hit enter. This way your message is sent with a red exclamation mark and the important tag right above it. So the recipient knows that you're urgently wanting their help or their attention to the message that you have just sent. If you want to send a new message to someone within your organization, simply click on this new chat button and type their name or email address and pick them from the drop down list. You can also message external users from other companies who are using Microsoft Teams, but this is dependent on the IT security policies set by your organization. The next feature that we're going to look at is Teams. When you go to your teams, you're going to see a list of teams that you are a part of, which means you have been added as a member to that team by your IT administrator or the team owner. Take a look at this example. I've got a team called IT support team, and there are 3 channels underneath that team. Think of a channel as a separate container for specific conversations that you want to have with specific sub-teams within the overarching team. By default, you're going to have General tab or the General channel. And beneath that, I have got 2 custom channels. One is called Evening Team, one is called Morning Team. Let's say you're a part of the Morning Team. I only expect you to have conversations that are related to the Morning Team in that specific channel. By doing this, you're segregating the communication to only the people that need to hear or learn about that specific topic. If you want to create a new Teams channel or a team site, you can click this plus icon and create a new team or a channel. Let's create a new team. I'm going to call this test team. You can give it a description if you like. Now, by default, it is going to be set to private, which means people need permission to be added to that team. I will leave it as private. The next option is public, which means anyone in the organization can join themselves, which is less secure. So let's keep it at private, and you can create your first channel in here as well. I'm going to call it test channel. And let's go ahead and click create. Now this can take a couple of seconds, and once the team is created, you're going to see your new team and your new channel under your teams. As you can see, it has been created successfully, and over here you can type the name or the email address of the members that you'd like to add to this specific team. Let's talk about a few useful features of Microsoft Teams channels. Now when it comes to collaboration, you can simply create a post and share information with your team. As you can see, I've created a sample security policy and I've shared it with my team. What you can do is, in order to create a post, you can simply click on start a post, give it a subject line, type a message, and if you want to attach anything, you can simply click on the plus icon here and click attach file, and you can upload from this device, or you can attach a cloud file from your OneDrive as well. So that's one way that you can communicate with your team without relying on emails. Also, there's a tab called Files with each and every team's channel that team's owners can put documents and any other materials that may be helpful for your day-to-day operations. People can collaborate on these materials as well. For example, let's say that I wanted to update the privacy policy template. I can simply do it by clicking on these 3 dots, going to open and edit in Teams. So I don't have to use any other application other than Microsoft Teams to edit this document. Let me just close this one. I can also use the desktop Word application in this example to edit this Word document. In order to do that, go to Open and click Open in App. This will open the document in the local application. Now, one thing to remember is if you're using your local Excel or Word applications to edit Microsoft Teams documents that are stored in Microsoft Teams, make sure that OneDrive is signed in and logged in using your work account, so the changes that you're making are saved accordingly. You can also co-author and work on documents simultaneously, which means 2 people or 3 people can work on the same document, and the changes will be updated and saved automatically when you're working from Microsoft Teams. When it comes to the calendar feature of Microsoft Teams, it syncs with your work Outlook profile, which means you're going to see your work appointments and meetings in Microsoft Teams calendar as well, so you don't have to look at two different places. If you want to join a meeting with an ID or a passcode, you can find out what the passcode and the ID for the team meeting is, and you can type that information in here and click join meeting button. You can also create a new meeting request and send this to external or internal users who are using Microsoft Teams. You can select the correct time zone. If needed be, it will default to your computer's time zone. But if you're talking to people outside your country, you can change the time zone in here as well. You can add a title, add the email addresses of the required attendees, select the appropriate time and date, and then you can save this and you can send it to your meeting attendees. Now, once you invite someone or send a new meeting request from Microsoft Teams, that appointment will be reflected on your Outlook as well, so you don't have to look at two different applications. Let me just cancel this one. Let's go to calls. Now, for some of you, you will see a number pad here, which means you've been assigned a Teams phone standard plan with either domestic or international calling, which means you can use Microsoft Teams to make standard calls for PSTN lines, whether it's a landline or a mobile phone. You can simply call any number, any PSTN number from within Teams. Now, obviously, this will come with additional add-ons and charges, so your organization may not have activated that. I do not have that feature, but some of you may have that feature where you will be able to make outbound calls to standard PSTN landlines. And the last thing I want to talk about is OneDrive. You can access your OneDrive files from Microsoft Teams as well, which is quite handy. Any document or any file that you may have saved in your OneDrive can be accessed from here, and you can share it with anyone in your organization as per your requirements. Guys, that is it for this tutorial. I hope I was able to give you a basic understanding of some of the core features of Microsoft Teams. If this helped you in any way, please hit that subscribe button and help me reach 1,000 subscribers. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Until then, take care and have a good day. Bye-bye.